Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode. On today's show, I'm super excited. We have a local San Diego drag queen. Vivvi the Force is going to be hanging out with us all episode. We're going to get into her new store that she's opening up here in San Diego, which I'm super excited for. We're going to get into some Father's Day stuff, talk about some Pride stuff since it is Pride Month, get into getting to know you, and a bunch more. So stay tuned. The show's going to be great. And we'll see you on the other side. Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Who Invited Her. We are San Diego's LGBTQ pop culture podcast. I'm your host, Tony, and I'm here with my other host, Bashi. Say hello.
Hello.
And Miss Miriam T's here today.
It's she, her, me. Hey, everybody.
And you guys, we have a very special guest today that I'm super excited who's going to be hanging out the whole episode. Vivvi, did I say it right? Viva the Force. And you're always going to fuck it up. I always do that. God damn it.
Right off the bat, Tony.
I know. Fuck.
Everybody give it up for Tony.
Yay. I hate myself. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Good. It's been a crazy week, as everybody knows, with everything that's happening in the world. But today, we're going to talk all about your drag and your art and everything that's happening.
Let's do it.
Yes. So to start off, you are a drag queen here in San Diego. How long have you been doing drag in San Diego?
I've been doing drag since 2010. That's when I first kind of started getting my feet wet, stepping out onto the scene here in San Diego. Actually, Father's Day, which is tomorrow, right, is my drag birthday. And
really?
My first drag was at Lips for You So You Think You Can Drag, and it was on a Father's Day.
Oh, wow.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
11 years old, 10 years old.
10 years old. Are you from San Diego originally?
Yeah, I was raised here in San Diego.
Oh, okay. Bash and I were too. We're both natives, which there's not a lot in San Diego.
Yeah, a lot of people leave, I think, San Diego.
Yeah, that's true too.
Come in also because it's a military town. So
that's very, very, very true. What part of San Diego did you grow up in?
In City Heights.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I live in the house that I grew up in when I was a child. Now, since when I moved back to San Diego from San Francisco, I'm back in that same house in City Heights.
How is that going back in as an adult?
It's amazing. It looks a lot different in this house than it did when I was growing up. But
yeah,
it's it's a lot of fun to decorate everything, and it's just so much color around my house. So
yeah,
that's so fucking cool.
That is really cool because a lot of people don't get to do that.
I would kill to go back to my childhood house and just do it my way.
Your way.
Yeah.
Me too. I have so many to choose from. We moved 21 times when I was a kid.
Oh, I do not.
Which house can I pick from the wheel of trauma?
Trauma. Oh God. So where is your family still in San Diego?
Yeah, they live in East County.
Yeah. Oh, okay. What part of East County? El Cajon, Santee, La Mesa. I went to high school. Me and Bassie did. We both grew up in El Cajon.
Oh God.
Yeah. Oh, it was a long time ago.
It was fine.
It was fine. Yeah, I think
it's just kind of like holding your breath your whole childhood until you
pretty much.
The fuck out of there.
Yeah.
I go to Yogurt Mill all the time over there.
The what?
The Yogurt Mill in
yes, the Yogurt Mill.
Yeah. Oh my God, I haven't thought about that in forever.
God. For anybody that doesn't know, in San Diego, the Yogurt Mill. If you're from San Diego, especially the East County, you know the Yogurt Mill.
The yogurt. So we were park rats. We would be little punk kids. We would walk from Parkway Plaza over to the Yogurt Mill.
Yes.
Oh my God.
That was our day, basically.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. And get Mexican food, and then walk back to Parkway Plaza.
Yep.
Knock away.
Help me. What is this yogurt mill?
Okay, so the yogurt mill, the building looks like it's tilted, right? Like the Tower of Pisa, I think, if I remember right. Right?
I
Or-
thought it was like one of those like cheap.
It looks like a phallus.
Yeah, there you go. That's the
Hang on, I'm
perfect
Googling
way
it.
of putting it.
And they made yogurt there?
I
You
mean,
can get obnoxious size like cups of
like a small was an
Nope.
extra large.
right.
And then they had the like craziest flavors too. It was so good.
Like froyo or like yogurt?
Froyo.
Froyo.
Oh, okay, I'm thinking you're getting like a half gallon of like
No.
No,
vanilla
not like
yogurt.
Greek
Froyo,
yogurt
no.
or like Yoplait.
No.
Ew, that's
No.
disgusting.
bifidus regularis.
No. But Parkway Plaza is a fucking like time capsule.
Vivi-
Miriam, have you ever been there?
Mariam, Vivi,
Oh my God, you gotta go.
You have to. Where in Parkway Plaza, like, would you go in the mall and walk the mall as a teenager, like you were a mall rat?
Yeah, we
Because
would.
we did that in high school.
Yeah, totally. You know, they had this. They had a couple of punk rock stores there. One was called Rocket 88,
Yeah.
and they sold like a lot of like rockabilly and like
I remember that store.
kind of like that kind of punk style stuff, creepers and things. And there was another punk store that sold records and things. I forgot what it was called. But
Was
yeah,
it in the mall?
it was at the mall.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember those.
At the
I
mall.
remember. I don't know if you, Bashi, and you remember this, but there was a punk store that was on Main Street in El Cajon called Gamma Gamma, and it was like I was in high school, junior high when it was like in its heyday, but it might have gone away before you guys were born because you're probably
don't
a lot
know.
younger
Oh my
than
God.
me.
I never heard of it.
Yeah,
Main
it was
Street's
Gamma
changed a
Gamma.
lot, too.
I remember.
You old Tony.
I know. I'm
But
old.
for the
You
listeners,
old grandpa.
for the listeners
I am.
that don't know, Parkway Plaza is one of the only like retro indoor malls left in San Diego.
Yeah.
It looks like the one on Stranger Things.
I want to go.
Oh yeah,
It's
you're right.
incredible. It's like they haven't fucking touched anything. It's like anchor stores are a Walmart and
Yeah.
like what
And
the
I
they
fuck
wanna
they
was-
have
go.
like the old school food court.
yeah,
remember
like with
with
the
the-
hot dog on a stick.
Yeah,
Carousel.
exactly.
Yes,
The carousel.
So weird.
we should
Uh,
go. I missed it. Is it open?
Go and play Dance Dance Revolution there at the movie
Yep.
theater.
Yep.
It was like
Big. And like
Yeah.
now I go
Yeah.
there and I walk the thing in 30 minutes.
Exactly. But the thing I remember, we always went in the summer because it was so fucking hot in El Cajon.
yeah.
So you would
Yeah.
go to Parkway Plaza because it was AC, and you would walk around the mall all day with your friends. Yeah, I
Right.
remember that. Yeah, that's so funny. Okay,
Yeah.
so how for your drag, how would you describe your drag for people who've probably never seen it? Like what style would you categorize it as?
So I call myself a punk rock glamour demon.
Oh, I like,
And also a mother of misfits. So
I like that.
my mother of misfits side is when I kind of go to more of a feminine characteristic, I guess. I'm like a mistress, and that's when I usually do like a skin tone look, and I try to kind of like elevate my drag to this kind of mother of all weirdos kind of thing.
Yeah.
And my more chaotic side is, you know, I try to be very glamorous but also demonic at the same time. So, you know, post-binary, not human, not alien, not anything, just totally out of your imagination.
Yeah.
You know.
The last time I think we had a conversation, you were dressed up like as a black sheep or goat,
Oh, goat, yeah.
and it was at DragCon, I think.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that's right. We saw you at DragCon.
That
And
was
there's
crazy.
the picture that our audience on YouTube is seeing is that look with the horns, but you're like in a dumpster with a baby next to you, a baby doll. I love that picture.
I was shooting a digital drag video. You know, since quarantine, we had to be pretty creative. So walked down the street and took that in the dumpster of the liquor store.
That's
Oh my
so
God.
awesome.
Oh yeah.
How
Yeah.
has doing the digital drag shows been for you since coronavirus and not being able to in the bars? I know every drag queen has a different viewpoint on it and how they're handling. So for you, how has it affected you, and how have you grown your drag since then?
You know, there's good elements of it, and there's some difficult elements of it. You know, learning how to like time the word, like the music overlapping over the video, like
Yeah.
that takes a long time sometimes. You know, but it's really helped you be creative. I've definitely done things I never thought of before, and been really able to like. I'm like, why wasn't I doing this a long time ago? You don't even
Yeah.
have to out of your house to make a video or
You
to
don't
put
have to
something
leave.
to do a performance.
Yeah.
And they're actually a lot of fun to make, but they can be pretty time consuming. Um, but I feel like it really opens the door to like people can do really anything. The things you can't do in the club, you can do at home. And when I get back to performing on stage, I'm gonna definitely use some of the things from home that I've learned and like kind of try to apply that to the stage as well.
Okay.
So
What's
yeah.
what's an example of something that you've been able to do at home and not in the club? Can you give it a reveal on anything, or is it too much of a secret?
Well, basically just how you can kind of like tell a story, you know. You know, for one of my videos, do you guys remember Torn, that song Torn from like the 90s?
Yeah. Natalie Imbrugio, I think was
Yeah.
you're right.
Yes, she's in the room and like the furniture's moving and like her boyfriend's there. So I recreated that video in my own way in my living room, you know, moving the furniture around and setting up the camera in one spot. You can't really do that on stage necessarily.
Right.
Yeah.
And a lot of I used to make a lot of messes on stage, which prevents me from getting callbacks.
People are like, she made a mess. She made a mess.
There was apples, particles, and fruits and vegetables all over the bar for weeks. Yes. Yeah, definitely. So now I can do those messes at home and then you know, show them on video at the club or do something like that.
Yeah.
So
But Vivvi, you have a very exciting new business you're going into. You're opening your own shop here in San Diego, Whips and Furs, which we are super excited for because San Diego does not have a shop like this. So let our audience know what they can expect when they go to Whips and Furs.
oh my gosh. All right. So this is so fucking exciting. So some of you might know I started doing drag in San Diego, but I left and moved up to San Francisco because I was just chasing like the whole San Francisco dream, the environment up there. My creativity up there was really able to explode and expand. And it's hard to get bookings down here in San Diego, especially when you're an alternative kind of like punk rock, like weird queen. So moving to San Francisco, I was really able to expand my drag. I was working at a costume store and, you know, at like a vintage clothing shop. And it was just super awesome. I just love working at the costume store, helping people get ready for a party.
Yeah.
And there's always a party in San Francisco. So all year long, you know, helping people get ready for events, Burning Man, Halloween. You know, I was able to play with makeup all day. It was an incredible, amazing experience. And when I moved back to San Diego, you know, like you said, there's nothing like that here. And, you know, when I realized that I wanted to do drag full time, because this is all I do full time, you know, I don't really know where else I could work except for, you know, doing my own thing, running my own business. And I just really want to offer San Diego what we had in San Francisco, like bringing that concept down here, and having a place where people can come and see me, talk about their outfits, talk about their performances they want to do, get some like tools and tricks of the trade, you know. So we're gonna have wigs, we're gonna have heels, we'll have Ben Nye makeup, Graftobian, Mayron, Krylon. I'm gonna have these headpieces that I make. You can also do custom orders with me. We're gonna also have like a photo area set up so we can like do makeovers, do photos. I'm gonna have guest makeup artists come and do tutorials with people and workshops.
Oh, that's awesome.
a one-stop shop for everything that you're gonna need to like be glamorous and fabulous and put your ideas into action.
Yeah.
And
I
so like,
good.
if you're doing like a custom look, how much advance notice do you need if you're going to put something like that together? I mean, I know it's going to depend like on what you want, but generally, like, what's a good time frame?
So I'm super quick and crafty. I feel like it's so hard to say. Maybe like a week. I would say like
Okay.
a week. I can get things done in a couple of days, but I like
Yeah.
to do a couple practices. I made these headpieces just as like my practice round for myself, but now I'm gonna start making them for the public that I can sell.
Yeah.
Wow.
Are you gonna
Bring
get a
out-
headdress, Bashi?
You
No,
should, Bashi.
I mean, I could, but like,
Do it.
I don't know. I can't tell you like every single Halloween, I'm just like running in between Buffalo Exchange flashbacks. You know, like anywhere, like I'm just trying to put something together last minute every single time.
The other
Yeah.
thing that I love about this is Robbie and I have done so much theater in San Diego, and there's no shop anymore you can run to that carries theater makeup like Ben and I's. Or if you
Mhm.
need a wig last minute for the show, there's nowhere you can run in person and get it.
And get that.
Or even like a costume piece or a prop. There's nowhere in San Diego for that.
Yeah, there's-
So this is super exciting for anybody within the creative community, especially putting on a show. It'll be so nice to actually have a place to go to, pick it up, and not have to wait a week or days in the mail for it to come.
Exactly. Yeah, I plan to have prop weapons. We'll have boas, accessories, lashes, stashes, and glasses.
Oh,
I
nice.
plan to have things that light up, glow in the dark. It's
Yeah.
gonna be the store I worked at in San Francisco is called Costumes on Hate.
Mhm.
So if you look them up on Instagram, it's Looks Costuming or Looks Costumes. You know, that's it. You'll see some old pictures of Vivvi on there.
You just posted one on Facebook where weren't you modeling a costume from back in the day?
Like superhero one?
Yeah.
Yes. Mhm.
I know San Diego back in the day used to have the costume shop, but they went out of business years ago. And then
Where
there was
that?
it was run by Pam, I think a friend of ours in theater, but
Oh,
it was here. I forget where they were originally, but then they ended up in North Park. And they were getting older, so they just stopped doing the business. Then we had Gypsy Treasure in La Mesa that was there forever.
Mhm.
And then they decided to call it quits too. And that was a while ago. So San Diego hasn't had anything like this
Yeah, we
in a
lost
long time.
we lost Buffalo Breath and Gypsy like within a year of each other,
Yeah.
didn't we? We were, like
Yeah.
6 months.
Actually,
Yeah.
yeah.
What?
And which one?
Buffalo Breath.
Yeah, Buffalo
Yeah,
Breath.
they
Yeah.
closed pretty close together, didn't they?
Mhm. Yeah.
Not that
Mhm.
far apart. So now we have nothing.
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 Which
Actually-
is so great that
I
you're
can-
doing this.
I'm just super excited. Like you said, there's nothing like that. So if you have an idea for a performance or a video shoot or a picture, you can't really go anywhere and access these supplies. You
Yeah.
know that you to be successful in that. So I feel like a lot of people don't execute their ideas because you don't have access. So that's where my store comes in. So we'll have everything. I know there's a lot of people, a lot of drag kings in town that would like some access to facial hair and different things to kind of complete their imagination and stuff. So, and another thing about the store is we're going to be pulling in all the creatives from town. So there's a lot of people I know that make some fabulous things. Sienna Desire makes nails. Some other queens style wigs. Some other queens in town do different things, whether they sew, style, or whatever. I'm going to be inviting them to, have a spot in the store, be able to put their stuff, market it, and get it out there, get it out of their closets and onto the shelf, and put their name out on it. Mhm.
Yeah, and the great thing is you're taking over a spot that has been a legendary spot here in San Diego. And I'm so glad that that spot is not going away. For people who know, you're taking over the Secrets wigs spot
Mm-hmm.
here in North Park.
Oh shit.
Yes, which is great because people in San Diego, Secrets has been around for a long time, and that's where you go to get wigs. Whether you're a drag queen or whatever, you always go there. So that's how did that come about that you got into that space to do your shop?
Well, yeah, Maria is a local icon,
Mhm.
and she has such a big heart, and she's been just a staple in our community for such a long time. Like you said, she put the first wig cap on my head when I wanted to do drag, and back in those days, you would sit down in front of the mirror. She, gave me my first complimentary wig cap, and tried on a couple of wigs and stuff. And since that day, Maria and I have had a relationship where I go into the store, I talk to her, we just kind of had a connection for a really long time.
Mhm.
She always takes in some people to apprentice with her. She's just a total sweetheart, but she was, has been doing it for such a long time, and we've been talking over the last 2 years about, what she had planned for the business and stuff, and I was supposed to open a makeup counter just in the corner of her store. So then I made Whips and Furs into a business, an official business. I'm the sole proprietor of that. And I started buying Benai and Krylon, Mayron products and getting my seller's permit and everything. I got a makeup counter and I was all set to go to move all that over there. And then COVID-19 happened. And so she was going to let me get my feet wet with operating a small business counter space. So we didn't know, but then, after a few months went by, she actually has to completely go out of business.
Mhm.
So I was kind of, faced with what do I want to do with this makeup counter? It's been in my living room for the last few months. And am I going to go ahead and the dream was always to have my own costume store and drag store. So I was like, do I just want to go full throttle in this or take a step back? And, the crystals told me, like the stars, they told me, let's do it. Like, let's go for it. Maria and I talked about it. I talked to the property owner and we're just going to make it happen. So
That's amazing.
We're going to go full throttle. I do have a GoFundMe. I can use any sort of assistance on there, whether you're sharing the GoFundMe page or you're making a donation of any amount. It's really awesome. And I'm going to have a pretty good start, I feel like.
Yeah.
And then Halloween's right around the corner as well. So
Yep. How do people find the GoFundMe?
You can find it on my Instagram, Vivvi the _Force, or on our Whips and Furs Instagram, Whips and Furs SD. And it's just you can click the link. It's also on Facebook.
Yeah, and we'll also put it on our website if people want to go there. You can click on there too, and donate because I think I'm excited to have it in San Diego because we haven't had something.
It's
like
also
that.
like I'm glad something like this is coming into North Park because I'm always afraid that the neighborhood's gonna lose its soul at some point if we put in another fucking like hipster ramen place. I'm gonna kill myself.
Or
like,
another brewery.
over it. But like, but I'll definitely stop by and say hi. You're right across the street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I want everyone to come, stop and say hi to it and talk to me. Let's get to know each other. Tell me ideas. Let's work. Let's collaborate.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to be a resource for the community that way.
That's
just
exciting. Yeah, it's
great.
a lot of work. I bet you're like exhausted.
Costumes. I'm also taking costume donations.
Yeah.
I have a whole she shed full of random things that I can't wait to pull out and have a place for. So she's been collecting stuff for a while. So
that's awesome. How exciting is that? I mean, you're gonna be having your own business. That's got to be scary at the same time.
It's really scary. And then with COVID-19, on the rise.
Yeah.
Still,
Yeah.
We don't know if there's gonna be another widespread closure.
Yeah.
Or,
I mean, look at what's happening in Arizona this week. They're like just no masks, no nothing.
Yeah.
They're spiking, and they're our neighbors. They're literally right over there. So I just hope
over
people
there.
over there, look over there.
have a feeling we're gonna hit a second spike, but
yeah,
I think Halloween's still gonna be huge. People, even if it's at a person, it's gonna be over Zoom.
And
people
it's
are
on
gonna
a
want to see each
weekend.
other.
It's on a weekend this year.
That's the thing that pisses me off about this fucking year, because everything lined up.
Oh, I know.
Like perfectly, and now it's all.
Need the full body latex masks.
There, that's what everybody's gonna be wearing for Halloween. Seriously,
hazmat suits will be popular.
Oh my god! So I wanted to get, because I don't think we talked about this last week and the week before, but with the Black Lives movement that's happening, we can't forget about it, and we cannot talk about it because it'll lose steam if we do. So I wanted to get your viewpoints, because we talked to Strawberry about this, and I loved getting viewpoints from people within our community on how they feel about it, how they're seeing San Diego react to it, and all of that. So what has been your experience with it in the last month and stuff with it?
Well, in the last month, it's just been a lot of emotions swirling around. You know, the movement, yes, it's not over, and we still have to fight. At the same time, I've been trying to focus on opening my business, and then also keeping my keeping myself creating art and everything as well. So it's just been really hard to like juggle everything. I know, and with COVID-19, there's just a lot.
It's a lot.
Everybody's plates are full.
I was super active in the protests when they rang out. You know, when in the Mesa, they burnt down the Chase. The Chase. That day, I got hit with a rubber bullet.
I saw that on your Facebook.
Yes, I was. So when it hit me, I was out there for hours. We were getting tear gassed all day. Lots of explosions and loud noises throughout the entire day. And it was getting dark, and a canister went off of tear gas. And when I turned around to run from like the smoke, I got hit in the back of the head, which it felt like a metal bat almost. And I kind of stumbled down, and I put my hand on my head immediately, and it just hurt really bad. And I had to keep going because the tear gas was gonna get up. So I remember just trying to get across the street, but I couldn't see if the light was green or anything because my vision was blurry. And I was just yelling medic. And when I got to the other side of the corner, everyone just came around me and started helping bandage my head up. It was bleeding. I didn't see back there. I could just see blood on my head, which I'm used to seeing. But performance.
But you're like, this time it's real.
Yeah, I'm not faking it, you guys. It's real blood.
It's not stage blood. God damn it.
And then I got picked up by a friend who was circling around. There's a lot of allies in our community doing their part, whether you're able to be in the front lines protesting, or you're just able to be down the street to pick people up if they're in need of shelter or help, or a ride home. So I got a ride home that day, but I was out there the next day protesting again. It's just a lot of really sudden PTSD comes from being out there with the explosions and everything. Kind of got a little paranoid and afraid of going out there and being out there again. So I'm trying to see what I can do from home. And that's trying to plan an event or a fundraiser, or opening the first Black-owned queer makeup store in San Diego. I definitely want to see some changes happen in Hillcrest. I feel like that definitely needs to happen. I mean, if you look at Hillcrest, there's nowhere for Black people to go. There's nowhere for Black trans people to go, or trans men and women, period. And if you just look at the nightclub experience, the biggest nightclub, Riches, which I love performing at Riches, it's a very white, cis, heteronormative space. And, if you look at how they split up the dance floors,
front room is...
the front room.
I know what you mean.
You have the fist pumping, typical, the gays that you see on TV
Yeah.
experience, rainbow capitalism on one side, and then you have like this energy on this other side, on the smaller stage.
Yeah.
And why push everyone to this crowded small space that's actually using the club for what it's for? Like dancing, bringing each other up, like creating that energy in that space. And imagine if that was all one club. So
Yeah.
I feel like a Black-owned business, a Black-owned nightclub or a bar space would just do so well here, and it's something that's really needed.
The other thing with that is San Diego's losing a lot of its nightclubs.
I was
Over
just
the
gonna
last
say, like,
few years, so many have closed down.
Numbers was kind of that club, and it's been gone. And like
The original Brass Rail too.
The original Brass Rail was a little bit more diverse.
I mean, they had Hispanic night, which I loved.
Well, and now I'm concerned because number one was kind of that place, and they just got a whole. I'm curious to see what's going to happen as that.
But we do need more diversity within the nightclub scene in San Diego, especially now that a lot of places have closed down within the last 10 years or so.
Absolutely.
So and it's time for it.
There's limited people that own all the places in. It's a little monopolized in Hillcrest. There's not a lot of people that own. There's also no black, mini black bar managers. Yeah. Or even like black store managers that you'll see in Hillcrest. So a lot of it is whites, and it's very heteronormative and very cis gay male, and yeah, I hope that with the Black Lives Matter movement and the attention to Black trans lives, that people start to do something different. I think Hillcrest needs to rethink. The people that go to Hillcrest needs to rethink what they expect from the nightclub experience. Yeah, and I feel like when I'm out in San Francisco and in Oakland and in other spaces, Los Angeles, and in these queer spaces, I feel like there's like a more of an intent to the nightclub experience, and gathering and sharing space, and where we kind of lack that here in San Diego. I feel like it's just very superficial here, and I feel like we can party on a little bit of a deeper level and kind of like reach a different. I don't even know how to explain all this, but
it feels like then evolution needs to happen. Like growth comes from evolution, and it feels like it needs that other to take that other step to go in a new direction or change. There needs to be change.
Yeah, and having limited spaces also makes it hard. I feel like people cram into spaces just to stand there and look at each other, and it's like, oh, let's go smoke a cigarette. Yeah. Okay, let's go over here and stand. Let's go over here and stand.
Change position.
We're not learning or gaining anything or building anything here. It's so. I feel like we definitely need to rethink what we expect from our spaces that we go to.
Yeah.
And I mean, when I want to go out, I want to see something I haven't seen before. I want to go see people I've never seen before. Like the last thing I want to do is say the same thing every weekend. I don't want to pay a cover for that.
Yeah. No, and I have to agree with that.
And as a Black queer artist in San Diego, I'll tell you, I've reached out to everyone, and I get 0 replies back. No one wants to collaborate. No one wants to work on things. It's the same people that always get the opportunities here. And, my show, Whips and Furs, we don't get a budget, to put our shows on. And I know other shows do. I have to pay those queens out of my own pocket, or ask for, hopefully people from the audience will donate, but as another show in the same space a week later, we'll get, promotion on Instagram, promotion on Facebook, so much more attention. And not to kick your show, Miriam T, but, I don't get money for these to pay the performers. And so you just see kind of how, there's kind of like a disconnect there, as far as what people are willing to budget for in the community.
So how does that change?
That changed by bar managers across all the bars, and I think that they should set up a budget specifically for queer Black events. and make sure that like once a month they're providing some sort of space, and they're making sure that it's a safe space. They're kicking people out if they're not following the rules, if they're making people feel uncomfortable, if they're misgendering people, if they're being racist, they get kicked out. And absolutely bottom line. And I feel like all the bars and spaces should create a budget so that they're creating at least one night a month for Black queer people, Black trans people, period.
Yeah.
And and they should all get in free as well.
There you go.
I know.
Great.
Gossip was doing a trans or like a non-binary. What was that event that they were doing? It didn't. Do you know what I'm talking about, Vivvi? I can't remember what it was called, but there needs to be more of that.
Yeah. No, I have
And
to
also,
agree
I
with
don't.
that. Yeah.
I don't get a budget either. I don't get it.
Oh,
I get paid.
No.
I get a host fee, but I pay the girls through the door. But
yeah, I mean, but we do need budgets, you know.
Of course.
Yeah.
Oh, I think so.
We're bringing in, you know,
You're bringing in a crowd that the bars are going to make money off of.
Exactly.
They're going to make money off of the drinks, if anything.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So why can't there be a kick down to the artists bringing in those crowds? Right? It only makes sense.
And you know, it helps the show grow bigger.
Yeah.
You know, I can't pull any outside people in to bring down to San Diego or anything, you know. And so yeah, you know, you just gotta be creative with what you got, and it's tough when you're doing it all by yourself, you know. So like,
trust me,
your own flyers,
I know with this show. No.
Yeah, you know. So yeah, you know, it'd be easier with a team, but so yeah, the show's really hard to keep up with. And that, but Moe's has been great. I really appreciate them giving us that space. But I do feel like now I think that all the bars should consider expanding opportunities for Black queer people in town.
Yeah,
it's just a boost, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if anything, yeah, for sure.
100%.
Yeah,
and we're creative people. We're magical people. Imagine what we can do if we're given, you know.
Well, it's with anybody that's in the arts. It's like there's this constant drive to create. And half of the time it's an uphill battle to create because there's always something in the way, whether it's funding, whether it's people not liking your artwork. There's always something. But as an artist, you're constantly fighting uphill to get your message out, to get your artwork out. And that's just how it is. But it'd be nice to have support. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
You know, and I feel like we're getting there.
Yeah.
You know, I know that Riches was starting to incorporate more events into their calendars and stuff like that. And you know, I'm really excited to see what Ryan does as the new owner of Riches. I know he's more current with everything happening. I know that he's gonna try to make a difference in the community as well and see what he can do. And I feel like Moses is right there as well. They're really taking off as far as supporting the Black Lives Matter movement. And they supported our show for 2 years. So no hate to Mose at all, you know, but
but it's with this whole Black Lives movement, it's a starting point. I feel like it's making change happen finally after all these years. It's finally
becoming more and more aware, and that's the goal.
And it just sucks that it's taken so long, because the reality is racism's probably it's never going to go away. It's always going to be there, whether it's here, any country. It's true. It's the constant fight between good and evil. That's always there. And it's funny because I watch social media, and every country in the world has some form of racism they're fighting with some kind of minority group. So it's nice now to see that it's in the forefront. Like, people are finally paying attention. Finally. It sucks.
Well, not only that, it's also the exposure to it. Like, my friend was like, how come you guys changed the pride flag? And I'm like, what do you mean?
Well, we were having this discussion earlier about that, about the pride flag.
Yeah, he's like, why is there like a little chevron on it? And I was like, that's trans, that's brown and black people that are also included, because gay people are just as racist as xenophobic as the rest of the general public. And they had no idea. I explained to them that people on their Grindr profiles have no fats, no femmes, no Asians, no blacks. Like, that's typical.
But see, this is an interesting conversation, because of being in my 40s, when I was coming up, teenage 20 years, we didn't have social media, none of that, right? So the pride flag for me was
inclusive.
Yes, it was a symbol of, it don't care what color my skin is. I know I'm part of that community. And I think over time that has changed within the community. But there's still people from that age that still look at that pride flag, the rainbow, which originally had nothing to do with the color of your skin when it was made, nothing. But over time with social media, I really do think that message of the original pride flag, what it was meant to represent, has changed because of that. So now race is attached to the pride flag, which it never was before social media. And people weren't, it just wasn't. So it, to me, looking at the pride flag has always been like, you see it on a building. When I was in my early 20s, I was like, I'm safe going in there, no matter, it had nothing to do with the color of my skin. But now that's different. It's totally changed what the pride flag was meant to mean and represent. Because if you look back in history, especially in the 70s, the trans community was one of the first communities that wore that rainbow flag with pride through the protest and stuff. But the flag's changed over the years. So now it's changed to include that, because I don't know, I think it's just the way, especially the queer community, has changed. You see it. So
I think that anytime like capitalism gets involved and things get commercialized, I feel as it does undercut the value and meaning of things. I mean, like, to have a rainbow flag back in your day was probably such a sign of rebellion.
And you didn't associate it with Absolute Vodka. You know what I mean? You didn't. No. It was a rebellious thing. Like, you wore it and you knew you were going to get beat up or something, you know? Exactly. It's not like that now.
Were to raise that flag and walk down the street, you know, be brave enough to do that, then that would be such a big deal. But I don't feel like, that flag still, like, in our current time, doesn't represent everybody. The way you felt about the rainbow flag is the way that I feel about the trans flag today.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like and the rainbow flag doesn't represent that for me anymore.
Yeah.
Because there's just so much rainbow capitalism that we call it, you know? So
yeah. And I think
I like that term.
Me and Rob have talked about, I think that's what's hard to see, because it's the flag has changed what it originally represented. And that's what's kind of sad, because it was built, the guy that built it had nothing to do with the color of people's skin. It was like, you're queer, whatever that means to you, you're part of this community. I don't care what you look like. And like you said, with capitalism, that's changed, and it kind of sucks that it has. But
yeah, I mean, just like when marriage passed, you know, I feel like a lot of people were so happy that two white men could buy a cake, you know, but that still, you know, did nothing for, you know, the Black trans community, really. And I feel like just because gay marriage passed, I feel like we forgot about the rest of the our spectrum.
Yeah.
You know, so just because a rainbow flag is outside of a bar doesn't mean that everybody in our community is going to feel comfortable going in there.
Yeah.
Because, you know, what we see is, like you said, that the LGBTQ community can be really, really
prejudiced. No, it's true. It's true. Do you think this is a question I'm interested to get everybody's opinion, because on the other side, I think people may look at the flag and see the black-brown stripes represented, but let's say you're not Hispanic, or you're not Black, and you're maybe the Asian culture or Middle Eastern. Do you look at that flag and go, why am I not included in it? Does that start to happen?
I feel like Black represents all people of color. It represents, anyone of a person of color, really. So everyone should feel represented in the Black and brown stripes.
See, I love that. I love that.
It's just an
That's
upgrade.
Yeah.
We all come from, indigenous communities, and and moved around to the places that we are now because of, colonialism and slavery and things like that. We all have to remember that as people of color, we all have that in common, that we all come from an indigenous lineage.
I think people are forgetting that right now. I think like that's the tie line when you use people of color. That's the tie line with whether you're Hispanic, Black, Asian, Middle Eastern. That's the tie line between all of us. You know what I mean? Like we're all on that spectrum of being a person of color.
Right.
So I love that. That's the perfect way of putting it. But I know, like I was talking to Rob, and we were talking about this before the show with the flag, that I saw people bring up that topic of why does it need to be a reboot of the original flag and what it meant. But I think that explains it perfectly well why. So yeah.
Yeah, I think we should always be growing and updating and refreshing our screens.
Exactly.
What we can do now.
Exactly. So on a little bit of a lighter topic, something that's funny that happened this week, and I want to get your guys' opinion on. Gwyneth Paltrow. We've talked about her.
I always know you're gonna say Gwyneth Paltrow after you
go. So did you see she came out with another fucking candle? This time it's called "It Smells Like My Orgasm." Because the first one was "It Smells Like My Vagina." Look at your face. So this brought up
giving this crazy lady money.
I know.
I don't know why people are doing this. It's so stupid. But it made me think, if we had to put out a candle for each of us that had to smell like our orgasm, what would it smell like?
Oh,
anybody?
A parking ticket and a pickle.
A parking ticket and a pickle. I'm not surprised, Miss Marion T.
Like a big dill pickle wrapped up in a parking citation.
That would be the scent. What about you, Bashing?
Like vodka Red Bull.
Desperation. Mine would just smell like mothballs. Mothballs. That's it. That's it. It would just be mothballs. What about you, Vivvi?
Have you ever gone to somebody's house and all you smell is mothballs, though?
Yes,
Rob.
Oh, that's true.
Rob.
Thanks.
I'm sorry, Rob. What about you, Vivvi? What would your orgasm candle smell like?
Probably like cat food and spray paint, actually.
Oh.
Okay.
I can attest that is exactly what Vivvi smells like. I guess she just orgasms every time I see her.
Every time.
She always smells like cat food and spray paint.
Okay, here's another question for you guys. If you had to pick a candle of a celebrity's orgasm, what celebrity's orgasm would you want to smell?
Megan Thee Stallion.
Oh, have you been watching her on Legend? About the ball? Oh, she's so good on that.
I love her
show.
So much. Oh my god,
she's so good.
She's one of the judges, right?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Is this the HBO one?
Yeah, Legend. It is a good show. Me and Rob have been watching it religiously. Oh, it's so good. I love all the drama. It's so good.
I know what I'm doing after this today. So.
Yeah, there you go. So Megan Thee Stallion. What about you, Miss Miriam T?
There's so many. Wait, Bashy, you go. I'm still
Bashy, go ahead. Do you know what celebrity?
A celebrity's orgasm that I would want to smell?
Yeah.
Okay, the first thing that came to mind was Bad Bunny, but I feel like that's just not the right answer. But like, I'm down. He just makes me really wet.
Yeah.
He's just beautiful. But there's so many. I can't. Okay, Bashy, you do one. I'm just gonna go with Bad Bunny. Maybe it'll smell like carrots and dick.
What's it smell? Carrots and dick.
I love carrots. Carrots are one of my
okay.
favorite vegetables.
I don't know. The
Diamonds
only
are-
one that... Wait, what was that?
They're
What?
Never mind. Don't listen to me.
Did you say Eartha Kitt?
No, I thought diamonds are a girl's best friend, but is diamonds carrots or is
Carrots, got it.
Ah,
Carrots.
there.
I thought you said Eartha Kitt.
Eartha Carrots. Okay, Bashi, what about you? Who would be your celebrity orgasm you'd want to smell every day?
God, the only one that comes to mind is Cardi B's because I just think it'd be a little nasty but still smell good.
Okay. I could get into that.
Yeah.
I don't know what
Tony
mine
was
would
not
be.
thrilled with that answer.
No, I was
No.
just faking.
Tony was like, okay.
I can't think of anything though, honestly.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'd want any celebrity's orgasm smell.
I don't really gush over many celebrities that much.
No, neither do I.
Same here. No.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this Gwyneth Paltrow, I can't with her.
Why
I
do
love her
people
though.
keep
You're always
paying
you
her?
love
I know
to bring up Gwyneth.
You keep citing her.
I do because she's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Are you actually getting like a monthly box from Goop and you're not telling us?
No.
Are you
Tony, you got Goop money?
Have you inserted a vaginal egg this morning?
No, that was you. We talked about that. Remember? We talked. Don't talk about Mexican Eric. He's not here.
Fashion, you are a vaginal egg.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you are.
I'll take
Speaking of eggs and private parts, have you guys seen the Epstein documentary, whatever? It's on Netflix? The best part is when it's like, "Is it true you have an egg-shaped
dick?"
Oh my God.
I was gag Goop.
Oh my God. It's actually a very good series. And
he was so mad.
Was an evil motherfucker.
Oh, it was the fate. I was just like,
but nothing can shake that motherfucker because he's a sociopath. And seeing him upset was like the most satisfying thing out of that whole documentary.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It was
him ending the interview was a yes.
Yeah. Totally.
Was a yes.
That was a why, yes, I do have an egg-shaped dick. Thank you.
Can you imagine being known as a guy with an egg-shaped dick? That would be horrible.
Humpty Dumpty.
Oh my
now
God.
He's just known as a maybe dead pedophile.
Yeah, he was. God, that documentary.
Jesus.
What have you been guys watching lately? Now that we haven't done this, we haven't talked about what everybody's been obsessing with. Lately.
Is this Stoner TV or just what we're?
We should do Stoner TV.
Should we do Stoner
TV?
TV?
Done that in a long
time. Go.
Hang on, I gotta look something up though.
Stoner TV. I have a good one.
Me too. I
think you and I have the same one.
Mine's a little different. I've been on this anime kick, and I've been watching JoJo's Bizarre Adventure like nonstop for the last week. If anybody hasn't seen JoJo's Bizarre Adventure anime, it's so fucking good, and they're so hot in it. The boys. I know. It's so weird. Okay, who else has a Stoner TV? What have you been watching?
Did I mention this? But Midnight Gospel? Did we?
No, I talked about that. That was mine. I was obsessed with Midnight Gospel.
Oh, it's
so good.
Oh,
if you haven't seen it, go see it. It's so good.
Then I've actually started watching Star Trek.
Nerd.
Constantly.
Okay.
I know, but Eric Wilson told me, and I started watching it, and I'm like, this is just like a good, never-ending show that you can pick up when you're stoned.
What about you, Vivvi?
I'm addicted to Survivor.
Like old Survivor? Like Survivor.
Yeah, I love watching old reruns of Survivor, like on Hulu. It's what I watch for Stone. There's just so much drama and like shade and like just manipulation. It's hilarious to me. It's just I love watching humans like go through like a struggle and like
and they go insane.
Well, that's what All Stars this season feels like Survivor, where they got to kick each other off and all that.
Exactly. You know.
Yeah, I love it.
I love Survivor, the dramatic, like, this is coming home. I love that.
What about you, Mariam T? What Stoner TV have you been watching?
I've been like working on a lot of costumes, some new stuff. So I've been watching a lot of really campy horror movies. A new favorite, I think it's called Tammy the T-Rex with Denise Richards. It's this terrible early 2000s, like it's a dark comedy, so it's like lots of blood but really funny, which is my favorite. And they like pull a brain out of somebody and put it in a giant robotic dinosaur. And then I've been watching this, I think it was a 70s horror movie called The Baby which is where they raise this mother and the two sisters raise this boy as an adult but make him think that he's a baby, so it's a giant like man baby. Terrible.
So it was a biopic about your life.
Listen, bitch. Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. I watched Dracula Dead and Loving
You watched one that I was obsessed with, Killer
Clowns from Outer Space.
Yeah.
That's such a fucking fucked up movie.
And there's a sequel.
So funny.
There's a sequel.
It's so funny.
That was like the one that used to scare me as a child because my mom would watch literally everything. Yeah. Like, and Exorcist was fine. Pet Cemetery cool, but that one freaked me out.
Really? What about you, Vivi? Do you get into horror movies?
I get into horror movies. I can't think of any off the top of my head right now.
Do you like old ones or new ones?
I like all sorts of movies. I like, Quentin Tarantino movies a lot.
Oh yes.
I like that kind of horror where there's like a psycho involved and things like that. There's like so much suspense and drama.
Yeah.
I'm so bad with pop culture. Like I will watch like an entire movie and just like forget like the name of it or
That's Rob. Yeah. That's Rob. We'll watch something like 10 times. He's like, what is this again? Wow. I'm like, God damn it.
So bad at that. Yeah.
I've been rewatching the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, which are some of my favorites. Because they're so campy.
I know, but they scare me. No,
Freddy is like the ultimate villain. Like you're rooting for the villain. Because I don't like actually scary movies. Like I don't like a lot of like realistic like
Conjuring and all horror, that shit.
I like all the old shit.
Like, yeah,
The Exorcist, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, all that like spooky, and I like campy stuff. So yeah, I love the different ways he kills them and turns them into puppets and TV slams. It's so stupid.
It is good.
I love it.
My favorite scene was when he. Oh, go ahead, Vivi. Sorry.
I love like Rob Zombie, like
the House of a Thousand Corpse and all of those. Yeah, visually those movies stunning. What he did in those, it's like just its only like little works of art, like moving art. His films, like 1,000 Corpse and all of those ones. Yeah. Anyways, like okay. Spooky, I know. Oh, but that is it for our show today, you guys.
It was a good one.
I know. It goes by fast. I am so happy we finally got you on the show, Vivvi the Force. It's been an absolute joy having you on. And you have to come back and hang out with us again for the whole show.
Yes. I can't wait.
And how do people find you? How do they get information on the store? Give them the rundown.
In that dumpster behind the liquor store.
So my store is on 28th and University in North Park. I'll be opening in the first week of July. You can go to my Instagram, my Facebook, check out the GoFundMe for updates. I'll be posting a video about my plans to open the store and sharing that with everybody. And then if you look around town, you'll see these flyers I'll be posting out there. You get 25% off your first purchase. So look for these and I'll have all the information on there for you.
Yes, and we will have all of the information on our website too. So you can go there and go support, go to the store, all of that good stuff. And how do people find you, Miss Miriam T?
You can find me on Instagram at @TheMiriamT or my website, sheherme.com.
Yay.
And then you can catch me at Lips. Lips will be back in action on July 9th.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Yay.
So,
come see us there for our new modified glamour show, whatever.
And how do people find you, Bashy?
I'm at @SayMyName_Bash.
Yes.
And periodically taking over the podcast Instagram.
Yep. And you can find the podcast at whoinvitedher_podcast on Instagram or whoinvitedher_SD on Twitter and Facebook. You can email us at thegang@whoinvitedher.net. We love hearing from everybody. And next week, we have a guest coming on who has been on the show many, many times, and we haven't heard from him in a long time. Mr. Eddie Danger's coming on to hang out with
shit.
us. Yeah. So that's going to be a fun show with it whenever Eddie's on.
I love that I just found this out.
I know.
I'm so
I was
excited.
keeping it from you guys.
All the thirsty hosts just got real excited.
I know. Every time Eddie comes on, we have such a blast with that guy. He's so much fun.
I haven't done an episode with Eddie yet.
No, you were
haven't?
off the last time. Yeah.
I'm off every time that Eddie does it. Not this time.
No.
Is he gonna do a dildo review or something?
I'm hoping he shows up in just like a jock strap and calls it a day.
He better.
That's so funny. All right.
But it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show, Vivvi.
Thanks so much for having me.
Oh,
Thank
it's been
you.
so good. And today, at the end of the show, I'll pick a band of somebody that I'm obsessed with. A song, somebody you need to go check. This is a singer, Grace Petrie. She's from Ireland and she's queer, and she is a very, very activist, political for everything that's happening over in the UK as far as with Black Lives Matter, racism, all of that. And she released an album called Queer as Folk. And it's such a great, she's like a folky pop singer. And every song she does has a message. And it covers the gamma of everything. And I just love that she's so outspoken and she's trying to make change with her music. So this is her song that she did called Pride. And it's just so good. And I think it's very relatable to everything that's happening in the world right now. So that's what we're gonna leave you with, you guys. This is Grace Petrie with Pride. Thank you, Vivvi the Force, for joining us this week. We'll see you next week, you guys. Bye.
Each and every day we're still being attacked, and sometimes it's by guns, and sometimes it's by words, and sometimes it's by the North Carolina bathroom acts. And yet we're the same as everyone. We're all under the same sun. But if you're trying to suggest this is just about the West, we've spent our whole lives looking down the barrel of that gun. And sometimes it's like an uphill climb. Yes, sometimes it's like an uphill climb, but I'm right by your side. And that's what we call pride.